Okay, so let's look at the major diatonic pattern. And right next to it is the major triad pattern. Diatonic means no matter where you start, well, you got to decide what's going to be. Okay, this D is going to be the second of the key of C. You're going to play 7 notes. It's a scale that has, I don't know, 1, 2, 1 half step, 2, 3 whole steps, and a half step, something like that. So it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Okay, so I think what we have there is 5 whole steps and 2 half steps, something like that, um, totaling 7. So this is the pattern that I'm doing. No matter where we start, and this is the P4 stack. Here's the string shapes. Here's the S3XL. We have the AXL 567, the RXL root 2 3, and the 4XL 4 5 6. Now this has to be lined up here. This is one line here. This is one line. This is one vertical right here, and it also extends down there. That's one line. See, they connect like that. And these blanks here would connect here, and these would go all the way down here. So you can see this is the way that it stacks up. This is the pattern fitting in P4. Now, why don't I show the tuning third in this pattern here is because we don't know where we're going to start. If I start here, this is the bottom string, then we count up E string, A string, G string, D string rather, G string, then the tuning third is in between the G and the B string would be here. The G string would be there and the B string would be there. That's just a coincidence that that's a G string shape right there. And then this would be the high E string again. Okay? So, think about that. Think about that. Let's try that one more time. We start on the 4. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, notice these two 5s don't line up. It's because there's a tuning third at the 2 here, and between these two strings would be the tuning third. But what if we start on this string? What if we start on the bottom string? Then it's string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4. Then we have the tuning third here. So this would be the B string, and this would be the high E string. You see, so it depending on where you start is where the tuning third is going to be. That's why we have P4 patterns, because it doesn't matter where, so you can start them anywhere. And they go around in a circle. Oh yes, they do. Go around in a circle. Now this one's shown twice for clarity to show how the 4, 5, 6, the 7 root 2 stacks on top most of the time, unless it's a tuning warp, but it stacks on top of the 4, 5, 6. So, and then also how the 2, 3, 4 stacks underneath most of the time. It's like 4 times out of 5. How it stacks and feeds into the 5, 6, 7. Okay? So I've shown both of them, but really I could take one of these out. I could take this out, and this would become a circle. Okay, so then we would have it going around a circle. So it would come out of here and back to there. Okay, just like that. Same thing with this would go down to there. When we finish with this, we'd come around to there and go back to this. Right? If you're going down, you just have to line it up properly. Okay? So what I had done is I showed that we have the 4, 5, 6 there. So when you're going down, the 4 isn't going to be on top this way. It's going to be over here because these patterns migrate. Now let's look at that. Okay, so here's the drawing showing pattern migration with the long patterns and the short patterns. Keep in mind the short string shaped circle of fifths goes C, G, D, A, E. Start on G, 6, 7 root, the bottom string of the G string shape. We go to D, the next string up, the bottom string of the D string shape. Go to A, the bottom string of the A string shaping cage. Go to E, the bottom string of the E, but remember how to fit those on. Shape P4 shape fitting, nothing to do with the tuning third. 7L right there. And then back to C up here. That was warped over. So we still have the circle of fifths there, and we have it kind of with this one, but I want to show you with the long pattern. I want to show you pattern migration. So shape fitting means that the short patterns tend to go to the left. So if it's not a good idea to start a short pattern near the fret nut, or it's going to go over to the left one string. Aha, but there's a tuning warp. It's going to bring it up one string. That's why with the C box, the open C box, you know, we'll put Mr. Capo, this is where your fret nut is. Here comes 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5 has been moved over for you. So the pattern migrated, but then the tuning third brought it over for us. That's why it's so easy to play that C box. But mostly it's going to migrate over one fret. So if you don't want to run into trouble, you know, you have to start one fret up. Granted, in the C box, it doesn't matter. But what if you want to start another box? What if you want to start on A string shape? What if you want to treat E as the fifth? Well, what's the fourth of E? A. So if E is the fifth of A, so we want to do an A shape there. So we start on the 5, E being the 5, we got 5, 6. Where's our 7? We don't have it because the 7 is over here below the fret nut. But if we started that an A-shaped B flat, key of F, then we can go 5, 6, 7 root 2. You see, so the short patterns go to the left, but guess what, folks? If you play the long patterns the way they are, they go to the right, so they're always safe to play. The only tricky thing about the long patterns is you can, if you want to keep on exploiting all the open strings, then you have to do the pattern cutout. So if it goes to 7 here, all right, the 7 would be over there. Let's look a little closer for a cutout here. If we got a 3, 4 here, let's see, 6, 7 root. So there's no 7 for this root here, so we're going to hit this 7 instead. G, we're going to go G. Okay. So we're going to hit this 7 instead for the long pattern. Alright, this diagram isn't that good for cutout, so let's just skip the cutout for now. In general, it's safe to play the long pattern stack the way it is, because it's going to take you to the right. So that's what, I just wanted to show you the circle of fifths for the long pattern stack. And by the way, this is one of the greatest things I ever made, which is the 60 string shape, circle of 60 string shapes. And if you